And we're live.
So hello there.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm good. I have so many things on my mind, and I'm wondering if you have a lot of things on your mind today.
I have a lot of things on my mind today, but I'm happy to hear what the infamous Debbie has for us first this morning. What is the latest and greatest we need to be aware of?
Okay, well, first of all, as you know, I blog on my own website, but I blog for Trulia as well, and I happen to be their blog of the week. And one of the things that I've been blogging about is that Los Angeles is on the verge of passing the sidewalks back to the homeowners, and rather than having us have our sidewalks be taken care of by the city of Los Angeles, they're going to have it be such that we have to pay for the repairs of our sidewalks. And if it isn't done, a lien will be placed on the property until the work is done by the homeowner, and the homeowner has to get the permits to do it, and then has to have the city come out and inspect it. So it's, for some people this may be a non-starter and they're fine with it or whatever, but for the 40% of properties that are in some kind of financial hardship, either short sale or foreclosure, and already burdened, this could be a real interesting turn of events, especially with the fact that a property lien will be placed on the property.
That is very interesting, and I had read something about that, but I will admit I didn't realize the ramifications until I sat and listened to you talk about it now. Interestingly enough, that from an insurance standpoint, and we get asked this a lot, what if someone trips and falls on the sidewalk in front of my house? Well, if it's not on your property, then it would be the city's responsibility. But now it looks like there's going to be a sort of a shift in that burden, because if you are legally liable, you are legally responsible for maintaining that sidewalk, even if it's not technically your property, then that does open up the door for you to have a liability exposure if somebody does hurt themselves on that sidewalk.
That's correct. And this goes in the face of 30-odd years since this has been enacted, where the city has been taking care of things. This throws everything in the face of that and changes the playing field dramatically, both from, as you said, from an insurance standpoint, from a resale standpoint, and just from a dollar out of the consumer's pocket standpoint. So I think we really need to be talking to our city councilmen about what they're going to do and how this is going to be implemented and how the consumers' rights are going to be protected, because this will impact all of us. We all use the sidewalks, and it's a grave expense. And I get it that the state in general is under extreme financial hardship, but then so are its citizens. So how do we balance that out is my question.
Clearly, this is just a money-saving tool that the city is trying to come up with. But again, it's opening up a Pandora's box. Now, I'm sitting here and thinking about it again. Now, let's look at the sidewalk that has tree roots. Well, is it now the responsibility? Who owns that tree? If I'm responsible for the sidewalk, but I don't own the tree, how am I supposed to, in essence, deal with the roots, or potentially deal with with fixing that sidewalk? Now, is it your understanding that once this is in full play, that this will become part of the inspection process, where a seller of a house will have to get some type of a sign-off from the city that the sidewalk that they're responsible for is basically in the clear and okay to have title transferred?
Well, very good question. I think if the lien doesn't exist, then it's a non-issue. But I think you will see that buyers are going to start wanting to have inspectors look at this, because the cost then, of course, will be borne by them. And so they're going to want to know, is there something I'm going to need to be wondering about on the sidewalk? And again, you hit the nail on the head, as you always do, Karl, about the issue of, well, now what about the parkways? If the city still owns the parkway and owns those trees on the parkway, and yet the roots are encroaching on the sidewalk, then who is responsible? And also, if this is really a money-saving issue, and the law that they're talking about enacting says that you have to apply for permits, and then the city has to come out and inspect the work, They're going to have new inspectors. They're going to have the mechanism in place for having someone go out and inspect just to put the liens on the property. So I don't understand if this is really a cost saving overall. They must feel that it is, but I think in general, it's going to make a huge difference in every transaction. And if I were representing a buyer, as you point out, I'd want to know whether there was something coming down the line for me.
For sure. Now, when does this go into full swing, or is this already in place at this point?
It's already been discussed. It is not in place. I think everyone should be watching. There have been a couple neighborhood town councils. You should be watching or contacting your congressperson's office and find out when and if there will be a neighborhood town council. One of the things the Board of Realtors wants is that every community should be able to have a town council meeting and have their voice heard about this, because this is a dramatic change. That is not something that's being planned at this time, but it's something we should all ask for.
Definitely see some changes coming down the line. Thank you. Down the line for that, I'm thinking about additional disclosures. I'm thinking about different types of contractors that would need to be brought in to do work on this. And again, this is not typically when you have a sidewalk and you have to have work done on it, it's not something that's normally done in a matter of a day or two. There are, again, there's tree root issues, there's property line issues, there's all sorts of things that get involved. This isn't simply a matter of the state being able to say, okay, you're not responsible for, the sidewalk in front of your property. Well, not everyone is exactly sure where that property line is, as I'm sure we're all very much aware during escrow. Sometimes it becomes an issue with property line disputes. But now all of a sudden, what if there is an issue with the sidewalk and it's iffy? Is it on my line? Is it not on my line? This could be a really big expense that people would have to be looking at dealing with. This is major.
And how long will the permit process take, and how long will it take to get an inspector back out at the end? Because what they're saying is they won't clear title of this lien unless a city inspector has come back out and authorized it and cleared it. This can delay things quite a bit. So it's a really interesting turn of events, and something that I think that people should be aware of.
Well, I think this was a great topic for today. And we'll definitely be keeping up and watching and reading certainly your blog. And congratulations on being the blog of the week with Trillia. They're a great service, a great free service, a resource for everybody that's looking into property values and things of that nature. So, well, I think what we'll do is we'll keep this one under 10 minutes so we can get it posted properly, like we were talking about. Anyone that has questions out there or topics they'd like to have talked about on our weekly show, feel free to drop either of us an email. If you're watching this, you'll already see where this is being posted, so the contact information should be readily available there.
Thank you so much, Karl, and thanks so much for bringing the insurance side of this, because that is not something I'm an expert at, and it's just wonderful to have you as a resource for the Bremner Group. It's just, I can't even tell you how lucky clients are to be able to have you as their backup.
Thanks. I appreciate that. It's nice to hear. Have a terrific Friday, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.